Hey everyone, welcome back to Xaynew Stories. This is Payback Fridays.
Story number 1, posted in Entitled Parents. Entitled Mom tried to cut a 40-minute line at an amusement park and started filming when I said no. User Proxy Cinnamon writes, I'm male, 34. I was at an amusement park last weekend and got in line for a popular ride. It had the time wristband and everything, but it was still around a 40-minute wait once you scanned in. People were pretty packed in close, sun blazing, everyone just trying to be patient. About 20 minutes in, this mom shows up with what looked like her whole crew: dad, two older kids, and a toddler. She starts weaving along the side of the queue, doing the whole excuse me routine. The toddler has an ice cream that's melting fast and dripping on people's shoe as they shuffle forward. She stops right next to me and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "Can we just squeeze in front of you? You see, our little one is overheating. He's so hot, we can't stand here." I told her pretty calmly, "Sorry, no, we've all been waiting." She immediately switches tone and goes, "Wow, so you'd rather a small child suffer than let a family go ahead? That's disgusting." Then she pulls out her phone and starts recording, pointing it at my face like she's about to get me cancelled. Dad stands behind her doing the silent shrug like he's not involved. Meanwhile, the toddler is licking ice cream and smearing it on the rail. A couple people behind me started muttering. One guy said, "Lady, get back to the line." And she snapped, "Mind your business." She tried to step forward anyway, like physically get past me, and I just held my spot and said, "No, go to the back." She kept filming and saying, "This man is bullying a mom," until a park staff member noticed the commotion. Security came over, asked what was going on. She tried the same speech, plus showed her phone like it was evidence. The staff just pointed to the end of the line and told them to go there or leave the ride area. She huffed, called everyone heartless, and walked off, still recording. Was I wrong for not just letting them in to avoid the drama? Honestly, OP, you did better than what I could have done in that situation. I would have pulled my phone out as well, OP, to record the person cutting in front of me and post it online for people to see. Story number 2, posted in Entitled Parents. My parents wants my sister to move in with me. User Lillian Faye writes, I am the oldest of 3 children and have one sister, which is 19F, and one older brother, 17M. My sister attends the same university as me. She currently lives in a dorm. I do not. I have an amazing deal. When I was a freshman, I became part of a church youth group. Said the church has a single apartment in the basement. It's free to someone who cleans and does other duties around the church. I volunteered for the job, and I've lived there for the past 2 years. It's nothing grand. I have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchenette, living room, but most importantly, a place of my own. Although my toilet is broken, my doors won't properly shut, and the lights constantly flicker, but it's free as long as I keep up my end of the bargain. My sister, like I said, lives in a dorm. My parents pay for everything, but they're going through a rough patch. My brother has been hospitalized for psychosis. My dad fell off a ladder and was hospitalized for a while. All the while, my mom had varicose vein. Then my dad bought some farmland that cost over $350,000 in American money. We still live comfortable lives, but my parents have become very stingy. They've started criticizing my financial decisions. My dad even assessed my bank account and called me to complain about how much money I spend. Honestly, it's making me very uncomfortable. Now both of my parents have asked me to let my sister move in with me next year. They say it will be a big financial burden off their shoulders. They said that one of us can live in my living room until I graduate uni. My dad even came to visit, checked out my living room, and talked about installing a curtain to turn my living room into a makeshift bedroom. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my sister. She's fashionable, funny, and incredibly smart. She's a writer who's had some of her work published in literary magazines. We get along pretty well, but here's the problem. I don't get along very well with my parents, especially my mom. She has untreated mental health issues and has been verbally abusive to me in the past. I fear she will snap again, as she does on a whim. She can be fine one day and the next she's laughing at me for being fat and having no friends. One day she says I'm her favorite, the next she's telling me that I go away. My dad means well, but he enables her. he will always take her side when push comes to shove. My sister is pretty close with my mom, and she often reports to my mom about what I'm doing. My mom was mad that I was losing weight, so she had my sister go through my fridge and report on what I've been eating. I had a depressive spell this semester that was really bad due to some terrible things my mom said and did. My apartment was not in great shape. My sister came over to use my shower and saw my kitchen, and immediately called my mom and dad. Now, both of my parents are mad at me for violating God's space, as my dad calls it. So, I told the pastor about the situation and he agreed to not let my sister join in. My family is pissed, and my dad was even considering sneaking my sister into the apartment as no one would ever know, but as per my knowledge, has realized this is a terrible idea. My sister has been pretty passive-aggressive in the past few days and is complaining about how she will have to live in the dorm again, as she doesn't know how to find a roommate. Did I handle the situation well? Am I justified in thinking that I don't owe my parents or sister anything? Should I abandon them and move far away? Any thoughts, advice is appreciated. You know, OP, I always try to think in a more not burn the bridge kind of way, but when it comes to stuff like this, I always think of my experience growing up. My mom, who's a millennial, has a lot of generational trauma, and from what I've observed, they are not the best at handling or managing their emotions, and they tend to explode just randomly. And to be perfectly honest, OP, if I was in your situation, I just move and continue on living, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be your own peace against them. Story number 3. Posted in Petty Revenge. Neighbor keeps stealing my laundry cycles and dumping my clothes. User Nightwing1107 writes, "They did it again today. Emptied my barely wet clothes out of the washer and into the dryer. They then put their load of clothes in to run on the detergent and cycle I paid for, with all 3 loads of my laundry. Imagine my surprise when I came back to the laundry room 5 minutes early to find my clothes soapy in the dryer and somebody else's laundry halfway through the cycle. Mine were dragged through the uncleaned lint traps on the dryer door too. I had 25 minutes to act, so I had to improvise. They were on the wash cycle still, but would switch to rinse in a few. They're old machines. Some still had analog software interface to them, and the Bluetooth was installed after the fact. It connected to the machine power supply and controlled the door. I paid for the cycle, so I used the app to pause my own laundry, grabbed some lint from the lint trap they dragged my clothes through, and tossed a little into each stolen load. Then, closed the door to restart the rinse cycle, as well as disabling the Bluetooth feature for unlocking. I'm sure somebody will figure out the machine's unplugged, but I had to crawl back there pretty far. And if they're doing this to everyone else's too, I'm sure it'll take a while for someone to decide to tell them. So, hey criminals, your clothes are staying in the machine until you learn to pay for your own damn laundry. Have fun getting them back. I'll be paying a new cycle for mine on a different floor. Update. It's been a few hours and my clothes are finally done. Stopped by the second floor laundry room and was terribly dismayed to see there seems to be an issue with 3 washers. Apparently, they wouldn't let someone's clothes out. How unfortunate. Man, these people are just insane in so many levels. It's laundry. You can literally just leave it. It's not that expensive. But I guess the economy dictates that we steal loads now. Hold on. Pause. But in all seriousness, why would you steal somebody else's laundry cycle?
If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. This is Xaynew Stories, and I'll see you on the next one.